Now for this build, we're going to be doing an entryway table. So this is an order, and she wants it just to the height of the back of her couch. And she also wants kind of a heavy-duty shelf on the bottom so everybody can put their shoes. I'm going to be using my 3-inch table legs for this build, so I'll link that video. Don't use 4x4s. They're too big. They're too gaudy. Don't do it. Do a nice 3-inch slimmer leg. Looks much better. Also, I already have the tabletop done for it, so I will link that video on how I put together my 1-inch tabletops. I have all the wood cut. I have all the pocket holes in. So with that said, let's get dirty. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the legs to the skirts. Now, picture this. This is upside down, okay? So this is actually the bottom, and this is the top. So like I said before, I already have all the pocket holes cut, but on the ones that go on the top, I also have 2 pocket holes so I can attach the top to the legs. So this is the one that I have to make sure that I use, and I have to make sure that I have the pocket hole screws pointing down, because again, I need to attach the tabletop. So we'll start by just putting some glue here on the edges. So I'm just going to use this bar clamp here to clamp this down, and then I can put my pocket hole screws on. All right, so now that I have that piece on, I'm going to flip it over and turn it around, because next I want to put this piece on. Now I'm going to be using my 2 5/8 inch spacers. Put some glue on the edge. Okay, got one side done, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat and mirror it for the other side. All right, so I'm getting ready to put the front skirt on. Again, make sure you got your pocket holes pointing down so you can put your top on. All right, so I kind of put up a mock shelf here, and I just put this on temporarily just to get the proper spacing. So this will be the shelf for the shoes. Now my shelf's going to go across here, so I want to make sure that when I put on my bottom skirt that I've compensated for that space that's going to be down here. I hope that makes sense. It'll be a little more clear when I get closer to the finish, and I'll kind of explain it again. But I mean, if it made sense the first time, that's great. And if not, I'll clarify it a little bit more when I'm getting done here. Okay, so the frame portion is done. Now you may be asking, well, why didn't you just put the shelf on and then you'd know exactly where it goes? You're not wrong. That's a good question. The problem is that the frame is going to be painted, whereas the top and the shelf, they're going to be stained. So if I put the top and the shelf on, then I got to tape it all off. So this way I can take it out. I can do all the painting I need to do on it. And then I can work on the top and the shelf separately and then attach it all together. So this just makes it a little bit easier since I got 2 different seals or 2 different finishes that I'm going to be doing. So the frame is done. We're moving on. Okay, so I have my frame outside. I'm getting ready to paint it with my HVLP. I'm hitting it with a interior eggshell, and the color is called Brave Raisin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it all, it's a brown, paint it all brown, and then paint white over the top of it, and then lightly sand it to give it a distressed look, because that's what this client enjoys. All right, so we're going to head outside and get some painting done, and then we'll come back in and keep working. So I got the first coat of paint on the frame. Now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and square up the edges on my top and my shelf. So I'm just going to use a straight edge and get me a nice straight line on both sides. All right, so I have the top all sanded and ready to go. Now what I want to do is I want to fill in the holes, because I used reclaimed wood for this, so it does have some nail holes in it. So I'm just going to fill the holes and then come back and press it with this hamburger press. So after I have the holes filled, I then take this scraper and I just scrape the tops off. Okay, holes are filled. Now I just got to sand. Before I start staining, I'm going to go ahead and take this HVLP outside and paint the white onto the frame. All right, so I put the white coat onto the frame. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and stain the top and the shelf. And for those, I will be using Mahogany Gel Stain. Next step, we're going to put a satin urethane over the top and the shelf. Okay, so while my my top and my shelf are drying, now I'm going to hit this frame with a 150 grit sandpaper. Now remember, we have the color Brave Raisin, which is kind of a mocha, and we put white on top of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this the distressed look by lightly sanding the white top until I see just a little bit of brown, and that will give us the desired look. All right, so you can see what I did here. Again, a 150 grit sandpaper. I just lightly went over it, kind of took a little bit of the white off just so the brown underneath pops out. That gives us the perfect distressed or worn look, and that's exactly what I was going for. Okay, so my top and my shelf are dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach them. I'm going to be using the 1¼ pocket screws. I've already put a bead of glue all the way around. So I'm just going to get it all tacked down now. Okay, so the last step is I got to put the shelf on here. So I'm going to get that ready to go, and I'll be putting that on with 1¼ screws, 1¼ pocket screws also. All right, so our build is complete. We built the kind of an entryway table measured to the size of the back of their couch. I'll be delivering that this weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Until next time, keep it safe.